Ah, the 1970s, an iconic era ruled by tectonic shifts in music ranging from the final classic rock boom to the mark of disco. But beneath all the Studio 54 sequins and Abbey Road glory lay some truly cringeworthy chart toppers that somehow peaked in popularity despite leaving our ears bleeding. First up on our off-key hit parade is Muskrat Love. Captain Antennaly's 1976 oddball Muskrat Love depicts two star-crossed muskrats, Samantha and Seymour, finding true love down by the riverbank, with lyrics like nibbling on bacon, chewing on cheese, muzzle to muzzle, now anything goes. The song's diabetes-inducing sweetness somehow manages to make rodent courtship even creepier. Samantha and Seymour first lock eyes while feasting on fish heads down by the swamp. Over a honky-tonk soundtrack, the besotted muskrats soon can't keep their paws off each other. The song compares the couple's unlikely romance to iconic human lovers like Romeo and Juliet, but not even Shakespeare himself could pen poetry poetic enough to save real-life furry lovers looking for their very own muskrat candlelight.
Looks like Muskrat Love.
Feelings. The 1975 chart topper Feelings by Morris Albert leaves much to be desired in the specificity department. Clocking in at over 4 minutes, Albert somehow drones on and on without actually communicating a single discernible feeling, with lyrics like, "Feelings, for all my life I'll feel it," and "It's a feeling that is so hard to hide." The track continues spiraling through the emotional void without landing on anything concrete. By the end of the maddeningly repetitive song, the only feeling listeners are left with is confusion. The tepid piano accompaniment underscores the dull vagueness pervading each endless verse. Beyond a surface-level recognition of having feelings, Albert fails to dig deeper into any compelling human emotion worth sitting through 4 minutes of easy listening purgatory. Audiences everywhere felt entirely over, not really feeling anything at all.
Feelings.
You're 16. Ringo Starr raised more than a few eyebrows with his 1973 chart topper, "You're 16, You're Beautiful, and You're Mine." The song beams, "You're everything a girl should be," to an underage paramour. While pop music has a lengthy history of mature stars singing to ingenue, Ringo highways past creepy singing "You're 16" at 33 years old. The song most famously appeared in its questionable 1978 re-release, where a leering Ringo pursues young Carrie Fisher in the accompanying video. Viewers couldn't peel their eyes away as Ringo blithely serenades his 16-year-old love interest about touching lips like strawberry wine. The staggering age difference coupled with wink-wink lyrics curdled milk everywhere, leaving audiences with a bad taste that hasn't aged well decades later.
You're beautiful and you're mine.
Billy Don't Be a Hero. Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods meant well with their 1974 hit, Billy Don't Be a Hero. They really did. This moralizing tale tries convincing young Billy not to sacrifice his life in combat just to impress his sweetheart. But the message gets entirely lost when Billy marches off to war and immediately dies in battle regardless, leaving his best girl back home forever crying his name. The song reflects American public opinion starting to turn against the Vietnam War around 1974, but audiences didn't take kindly to making battlefield ballads and romanticizing military deaths, and the catchy chorus chanting, "Billy, don't be a hero, don't be a fool with your life," after Billy heroically fools with his life anyway, comes across as contradictory, if not completely clueless. While Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods hoped to spur meaningful conversation about the costs of war, they did so with maudlin lyrics too cloying to earn respect. The track soon faded off radio rotation for coming off as shallow and missing the gravity behind Lives Lost.
Band came down along Main Street. The soldier blues fell in behind.
Seasons in the Sun. Terry Jacks struck a melancholy chord about cherishing life's fleeting moments with his 1974 smash, Seasons in the Sun. Originally recorded by Jacques Brel in 1961, the song bids farewell to loved ones as the narrator subtly hints towards his looming death. Terry Jacks amended the lyrics to provide more background details, lending the song an added layer of superficial nostalgia. The weepy track recounts happy memories of times gone forever as the narrator offers cryptic goodbyes to family and friends. The melodramatic chorus reminds his weeping paramour to reminisce on the seasons they enjoyed together before time changed everything. Violins swell pathetically, attempting to underscore the tragedy of losing life's once sweet moments. While Terry Jack's tears clearly moved the 1970s public based on the song's 14-week Hot 100 chart domination, audiences since have overdosed on the sappy nostalgia. Easy listening ballads dripping with schmaltz saw their heyday fade away, much like the long-lost season's cetaceans in Terry's cloying musical sunset.
We've known each other since we were 9 or 10. Together we've
Cheeky 1979 smash, Escape, the Pina Colada song. The song chronicles a bored husband scanning the personal ads until he discovers an intriguing post, seeking a lover who enjoys pina coladas and rolling in the sand. After arranging a clandestine rendezvous with his mystery temptress at O'Malley's bar, he arrives to find his own wife stood him up to pursue the same ad. Turns out the cheating couple share a mutual love for dancing in the rain and pina colada moonlight trysts. As they hilariously realize they both attempted betraying one another, suddenly all is forgiven and their marriage is reignited. Rupert dared, asking what would happen if old flames posting personal ads looking to stray just happened to incriminate each other. Listeners gagged as he glorified excused infidelity with a cocktail in tow and a wink. The blithely betraying characters left radio audiences with a bad taste still lingering decades later.
If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain.
You're Having My Baby. Paul Anka outraged audiences with his tone-deaf 1974 chart destroyer, You're Having My Baby. The song beams as a man elatedly informs his partner, You're having my baby. What a lovely way of saying how much you love me. Feminists flung tomatoes as Anka crooned about pregnancy and child-rearing somehow being a woman's highest honor and sole metric of his undying love and devotion. While the gentle piano accompaniment hints at Anka's wholesome 50s upbringing, lyrics like, You're the woman I love, and I love what it's doing to you, didn't exactly resonate with women's libbers burning bras in protest that same year. Couples in the 1970s clung harder to fading gender roles as women's rights surged, allowing the song temporary confused success. But audiences soon recognized Anka's patronizing ode erased the mother's autonomy and rejected it. Radio stations roundhouse kicked the song to the curb to make way for the future.
I can see it in your eyes, I'm happy knowing.
Afternoon Delight? The Starland vocal band snickered all the way to the bank after querying midday infidelity with 1976's Afternoon Delight. The song recounts a cheating husband ducking work to meet his equally betrothed mistress for some afternoon delight behind their spouses' backs. Lyrics like, The park is empty, let's put up a fight underneath the stars, blatantly broadcast violating their marital vows between the sheets in broad daylight. Children giggled, enjoying the peppy record, unaware of risque metaphors flying over their heads as parents lunged to spin-change radio dials. The lone saving grace lies in the two lead vocalists comprising the Starland vocal band being married in real life to each other, not their giggly side pieces. Nonetheless, extramarital encouragement left American bandstand audiences morally outraged and listeners sprinting to switch stations for decades to come.
Know the night is always gonna be here anyway.
Disco Duck. Memphis DJ legend Rick Dees concocted the biggest novelty blender bomb of 1976 with Disco Duck. The song showcases Dees' self-described terrible Donald Duck impression over the world's most basic disco instrumentation. Lyrics quack about a smooth duck rocking bell bottoms and getting down on the dance floor to woo feathered ladies. The would-be wingman brags that chicks would care about his popping dance moves and far-out threads. The baffling bridge features beaky boogalooing with a lady duck, before being flattened by a jealous elephant who then proceeds to also cut a rug. Listeners scratch their heads wondering how this absurdist tale passed muster with any major labels ever. But the nonsensical sneak attack soared to #1 for a 14-week siege, dominating playlists coast to coast. Audiences howled laughing at the record, not with it, until the duck jokes dried up and got pressed to vinyl death. You Light Up My Life. Debbie Boone clutched easy listening radio in a 10-week stranglehold with her 1977 behemoth, You Light Up My Life. Backed by syrupy strings and piano more sticky than a movie theater floor, Boone coos about a nonspecific paramour igniting true love's glow in her soul via enlightened romance. Listeners fumbled for insulin injections rapid fire as Debbie circled the chorus for infinity waxing about her lover, lighting the stars and filling nights with song, sans any tangible details. The guy could be literally anyone. They never say if it's a crush, a spouse, or adult Jesus. Making matters creepier, years later, the mystery songwriter behind the celestial love ode got criminally convicted for sexually assaulting nearly a dozen women. So mystery igniter of light and lawless assaulter became mutually synonymous to a traumatized American public. Audiences screamed for 10 unrelenting weeks imprisoned by the sappiest #1 hit of the 1970s to take its unholy light away at last.
But now you've come along.
Climb Every Mountain, rolling out the hits at a prolific pace in the 1970s. Not even legendary tunesmith Paul Anka was safe from laying the occasional chart egg. Exhibit A, his bizarre take on the Sound of Music's show-stopping power anthem, Climb Every Mountain. Deja vu, Rodgers and Hammerstein. The song takes the soaring vocals of Mother Superior original and saddles them with a jaunty ice cream truck arrangement totally at odds with the soul-stirring lyrics. Anka bops through the iconic score about taking every chance to follow your dreams with a pep that feels downright bizarre. Audiences froze up over tainting such a sweeping message and doing Julie Andrews dirty. History has largely wiped this saccharine misstep under the rug. I've Never Been to Me, a lounge singer lamenting the emptiness behind society's expectations for women, sounds compelling until you actually hear this self-important snooze fest from 1976. Cloying piano provides the backdrop as Charlene moralizes about proper ladies traveling the world only to discover partying left them unfulfilled. Her patronizing anthem essentially preaches women denying their own pleasures and passions to serve men as their perfect partner and mother. Feminists bellowed bile as Charlene reduced females to vapid lessers who've never truly lived without husbands and babies in tow. Modern listeners still can't even over the condescending tone and banality.
You're a discontented mother and a regiment.
No Charge. Country crooner Melba Montgomery hopped aboard the Schmaltz Canal in 1976, paying ode to selfless motherly devotion with No Charge. Her spoken word track beams over sappy strings as Montgomery lists all the thankless tasks mothers joyfully provide their families, asking nothing in return. The laundry list of homemade hot meals, perfectly packed school lunches, cleaned muddy pants, and so on, portrays the ultimate maternal sacrifice, delivering round-the-clock servitude with a smile. The song oozes heartstring-tugging sentiment, implying females exist solely to dutifully nurture. Feminists flung tomatoes, while kids rolled eyes wondering who writes preachy songs about chores. Cornball lyrics stirred enough controversy to send the single straight off the charts.
For mowing the yard, $5. And for making my own bed this week, $1.
In closing, the 1970s pumped out plenty of iconic tunes, but scattered in between those smash hits were some true musical monstrosities that somehow found success. We applaud the artists for their creativity. Not all experiments shine bright. Here's hoping the 2070s look back at our era's least loved earworms a little more kindly when history repeats itself.